Hello and welcome to another ramble. I would like to start this video off by saying that nobody knows you better than you. Um, so you shouldn't let anyone else tell you who you are and who you are not, because they haven't lived your life, they haven't walked in your footsteps, and to be honest, your life is none of their business. They should be focusing on their own stuff. Easier said than done in a society where we have been taught to just kind of like constantly assess and I don't know, what is that word? Interfere with everything else around us instead of actually turning that attention inward and working on yourself. I have so many things circulating on my mind. I just feel like the past 3 days have been pretty heavy for me, and I guess the takeaway from that is that life is a roller coaster ride, and you will witness and experience highs and lows. Always. It never ends. And I feel like, I don't know if you can relate to this, but when it's positive and everything feels peaceful and aligned, like, and effortless, it's amazing. And I feel like maybe it's a reminder of how you could be in every moment if you've mastered like some type of equanimity, regardless of whether you're riding a high or a low. But the fact of the matter is when you're at a low, it doesn't feel the best, and sometimes it's hard to process and hard to make sense of it all. But I feel like, you can't have the lows or the highs without the lows. And I think the lows are there to help you to understand different dimensions of yourselves, deeper dimensions of yourselves that you wouldn't necessarily access if you were always riding a high. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the low points are transitional periods where you get to reassess things and contemplate previous choices that have led you to this moment, and to kind of like allow repressed emotions to come to the surface so that you can attend to them and acknowledge them, and then you can purge what emotions no longer serve you, what belief systems that are attached to those emotions that no longer serve you, so that when you rise again, you can come up with like a different perspective on life. So yeah, we have a tendency to, I guess, demonize the low points, but they're definitely essential elements in the growing into knowing process, if that even makes sense. Yeah. I've also realized that because I contradict myself often, it's really hard to get those two sides to kind of align with each other and, be at peace without creating friction. But then at the same time, I think maybe friction is necessary in order for you to polish yourself down into a finer element, if that even makes sense. I'm still trying to get through it, but I feel like no matter what's going on, it's okay. As long as you realize that it's okay, then you can maybe move through these things with less difficulty. It's when you like fight it, it becomes a little bit more difficult to deal with. You know what I mean? What else was I going to I was going to talk about how I've realized that I to some degree, I try to limit my expectations upon anything or anyone, because I think once you project an expectation on anything or anyone, you're bound for disappointment. And not only that, like when you project an expectation, it's almost like you're expecting something to mold into something that you prefer, but it's not even about what you prefer, it's about honoring things as they are, you know. I've also noticed that I have a tendency to want to, I guess to some degree, it's weird. It's like on one end of the spectrum, I don't care if people like me or not. But on the other end of the spectrum, I kind of do care, because I would like to create like community, and I would like to like connect with people to some degree. And in order to do that, you kind of need people to like you, because if nobody likes you, then there's no room for connection or collaboration or community. And I find that these are important things to me, even though I spend most of my time alone. I like to connect with at least one or two individuals on occasion, just so that I can kind of like I don't know, open myself up to different dimensions. I've noticed though that not everybody will like you. I mean, that's a telltale. I mean, there's not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna be on the same frequency as you. Not everybody's going to communicate the way you do. Not everyone's gonna care the way you do, love the way you do, be loyal to you. And I guess you have to be okay with that, because if not, then you just create more conflict and war, which is against the grain of what we are trying to create, which is harmony, I do notice that I love my alone time to a degree, but I do need socialization from time to time. And I don't know. I've just been encountering a lot of stuff, down to meeting contradicting sides of me and trying to figure out that balance point between the two extremes. I was also thinking about, like how we have this all or nothing approach to life. And I've been asking, like, if that's even like a beneficial belief system, because if it's all or nothing, I don't know. Like, I feel like most of the time when things don't work out or things don't align, we have a tendency to just throw it to the side because we're all or nothing. I mean, is that really the most practical way to approach life? Like, I guess what I'm really getting at along the lines is like people who have hurt you in the past. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I have a tendency to, like, after ruminating over the person and the relationship and the investment and the behavior that was involved, if things don't add up and they don't weigh up, I have a tendency to detach and disconnect and have less access, or that person has less access to me. But is that really a correct way to be? Maybe we just need to like talk it out with people. And I have, and then I just cut them out. But it's like I've burned so many bridges. It's like, well, do I have any bridges to cross? Not really, unless I construct more, which that takes a lot of energy and effort. I don't know. I'm in this really strange place where I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. And yeah, it's okay, but I guess that's just part of life. And I've been thinking about how to move through this. Some people say that you choose the station you want to tune into, and I get that, but at the same time you don't want to deny the darker aspects of the experience. You don't want to just be like, oh, it's okay, I'm gonna tune into something higher, when in actuality you're currently on a tune that's making you reassess your belief systems and how you've been functioning in the world. I've also been thinking to some degree, and this might sound really pessimistic, I prefer to call it realistic, that INFJs are not necessarily as saintly as they've been. How do I say? I don't know, when I first started this Myers-Briggs testing, and by the way, I've taken the test several times on different websites, and for all of you who are thinking I'm something else, I could be, but I always come up with INFJ. And I've taken the test several times because of my own curiosity, because I wanted to disprove that theory on several websites, and it always comes out INFJ. So riddle me that. Whether or not I am or I'm not, who cares? I don't claim to be an INFJ. I just kind of like taking tests so that it can help me to understand myself better. I don't think we're one of anything. I think we're everything, to be honest. But where you're currently at in your operating system that you predominantly function from, I think these I don't know, informational bits can be helpful in helping you to understand yourself more. I don't know, so when I first learned about INFJ, you know how they say we're rare, and how, I don't know, I just feel like they kind of make us out to be these elusive and saintly creatures. We're freaking complicated, and we have a lot of contradicting ideas and feelings, and I've come to realize that INFJ is... I'm kind of glad there isn't that much INFJs, because I don't know how the world would be. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. I mean, I notice I spend a lot of time doing nothing, and I spend a lot of time in my mind. I can, I guess, become active in the world, and I can be a powerful force if I really wanted to commit to something and create something. But currently I've just been cruising it, because we're in a dimension of deterioration. I've kind of lost hope. I mean, I have days where I feel hopeful, and then I have days where I just don't, I don't know, I don't really do much of anything. And I thought I was okay with it, but this dark moment has been having me reassess everything. I think I can be cynical. I think I can be, really cynical. And lately I've just been agitated by everything around me, because I'm highly sensitive. And usually I have that stuff under control, but lately it's just been really, really aggravating, agitating. I've been very irritated. And when I get irritated, I have a tendency to go into a mode of destruction. I don't know if destruction is necessary for construction, but I don't know, it's just a really weird place to be in, And I feel like we have a lot of emotional issues. A lot of emotional issues that people don't necessarily talk about. You know, they just play us out to be like Mother Teresa's and stuff. It's not true. I just feel like we have a lot of emotional baggage and issues. And trying to find a remedy, but at the same time, sometimes I just feel like everything I've learned up until now doesn't really matter. Anyways, I'm just rambling on and on. My whole point is, like, we're not as positive and loving and caring and kind as we are painted to be. I think we can be very dark and very cynical and very destructive. And I'm currently moving through this. I haven't quite figured it out. I'm trying to just kind of process and eliminate, but I guess you can't force that. You know, you just kind of gotta let things be and let things flow in their own timing. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day. I have no idea if you learned anything from this. This is just kind of me outletting my feelings. All right, blessings to one and all. Amen.